Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you pay off, your debts never seem to end? In this video, I'll reveal the 5 secrets that banks use to keep you trapped in the cycle of debt. If you're tired of seeing your bills piling up and feel that something is wrong with the financial system, this video is for you. Staying until the end will give you the knowledge you need to get out of this trap and finally take control of your finances. Imagine knowing exactly how the banks operate behind the scenes to make sure you stay in debt and how you can break that cycle. It's time to turn the tables. Are you ready? First secret, the illusion of minimum payments. Now let's start with the first secret that banks used to keep you in debt. The illusion of minimum payments. If you already have a credit card, chances are you've seen that pay the minimum amount option on the bill, right? Sounds like a relief, right? After all, if the total amount is too high and you can't pay it all, the banks give you the alternative of paying a smaller amount, which may seem like a solution. But that's the trick. What many people don't know is that by opting for the minimum payment, you're walking into a trap that can turn a relatively small debt into a gigantic snowball. Let's understand why. When you only pay the minimum, the bank allows the rest of the debt to be carried over to the next month. But what they don't make clear is that they will charge you absurd interest on this remaining amount. And this interest isn't low. It often reaches 300% per year, depending on the institution and the type of card. Imagine you have a card debt of $1,000. If you only pay the minimum amount, usually around 10 to 15% of the bill, the remaining balance, i.e. the $850 you haven't paid, starts generating interest the next day. This interest is compounded, which means that the following month you will pay interest on the interest you were charged the previous month. And this is how, in a short space of time, a debt that seemed under control can grow to a huge amount, difficult to pay off. So what does the bank do? They give you the illusion that they are helping you, offering temporary relief by reducing the amount of the bill that month. But in reality, they are pushing you deeper and deeper into a financial hole. Second secret, the hidden fees trick. Now let's talk about the second secret that banks use to keep you in debt. Hidden fees. Have you ever stopped to think about the number of small fees that appear on your bank invoices? Often these fees seem insignificant, but when added up over time, they could be taking a good chunk out of your money without you even realizing it. Banks have a well-known trick. They fragment these charges into small amounts. Account maintenance fees, withdrawal fees, Boleto issuance fees, interest on debit balances. There are so many that we don't even realize it. These small charges are strategic because in isolation, they don't seem heavy, but together, they can compromise a significant part of your monthly budget. Let's take a simple example. Suppose you have a current account that charges $20 a month for maintenance. It doesn't seem like much, right? Now, if you add that up over the course of a year, that's $240. And we're not even talking about other fees that can be applied when using a credit card, making transfers, or even for using the overdraft limit. These amounts may seem harmless at first, but over time, they could be sucking your money dry without you realizing it. The big issue here is that these fees are often not explicitly communicated. They appear on the statement in small print and are only noticed when you're really paying attention. And this is one of the sneakiest ways banks use to ensure that you gradually lose control of your money. You pay more than you should without realizing it. Banks know that most people don't keep a close eye on every penny that leaves their account, which is why these fees work so well for them. If you don't keep an eye on your statement or question every fee charge, you end up paying more than you need to. That's how, month after month, small fees turn into big headaches. Third secret, the easy credit game. Now let's talk about the third secret that banks use to keep you in debt. The easy credit game. This is one of the most powerful and common tricks they use. Have you ever noticed how they suddenly start offering you credit card limit increases, pre-approved loans, and other lines of credit as if they were quick and miraculous solutions to all your problems? Sounds tempting, right? But that's the catch. Banks know that by offering easy credit almost automatically, they are encouraging you to spend more than you really can. The idea is to make you feel more comfortable about using the card or taking out that loan, without you realizing the weight these decisions will have in the long term. And this is because, by temporarily increasing your purchasing power, banks create the illusion that you have more money available. But in reality, that money isn't yours. It's theirs, and you'll have to pay it back with interest. Let's think about how this trap works in practice. Imagine that your bank offers you a $2,000 increase in your credit card limit. That sounds great, because you feel you now have more flexibility to make bigger purchases or solve a financial problem. The thing is, people often end up using this extra credit impulsively, without assessing whether they really need to spend so much. And so the higher limit is used up, and the bill of course grows. And it's not just the credit card. The bank can also offer you a pre-approved loan on the grounds that the conditions are great, the interest is low, and you'll be able to settle your debts in one go. But in reality, these loans, even the ones that seem advantageous, come with interest that, over the months, will eat away at your money. It's important to remember that any credit you use has to be paid back, and often the final amount you pay is much higher than what you received at the beginning. This trick is so effective because it exploits the emotional side. When the bank offers you more credit, you feel a sense of relief and security, as if you could solve all your financial problems on the spot. But in reality, they are pushing you into a spiral of debt. By offering easy credit, the bank isn't thinking about your well-being, but about the interest it will earn when you can't pay it back. Fourth secret: the credit card minimum payment trap. Now we come to the fourth secret that banks use to keep you in debt: the credit card minimum payment trap. This is one of the most dangerous strategies, and many people fall into it without even realizing it. When you see the option to pay only part of the bill, it seems like a good way out, right? After all, you pay part of it now, and the rest can be dealt with later. But that's the problem. Paying the minimum is like stepping into financial quicksand. When you only pay the minimum amount, what happens is that the rest of the debt remains there, accumulating interest, and it's not low interest. In Brazil, credit card interest rates are among the highest in the world, which means that by making the minimum payment, you are extending your debt and letting it grow rapidly. Every month that you don't pay off the bill in full, the interest increases and the amount you have to pay gets bigger and bigger. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you have a bill for $1,000 and you decide to pay only the minimum, which is 15% of the total amount, or $150. This seems like a temporary solution, but the remaining $850 will accrue interest, and the following month your debt will be even higher. Now, add in new expenses you make with the card, and you quickly find yourself in a situation where you're paying a lot more than you initially had to. This practice is one of the main culprits in turning small debts into big financial problems. And the bank knows it. By offering the minimum payment option, they know that, in the long run, they will earn much more in interest than if you paid off the entire bill. That's why it's essential to understand that this apparent ease can be very costly. Fifth secret: the illusion of credit card benefits and rewards. Let's now move on to the fifth and final secret: the illusion of credit card benefits and rewards. Banks love to promote these programs as if they were a great advantage for the customer. Points, miles, cash back. It all sounds very attractive, doesn't it? But the truth is that these benefits have a hidden cost. When you use your credit card with these rewards in mind, you end up spending more than you planned because you feel like you're earning something in return. However, the points you accumulate or the cashback you receive often don't compensate for the high interest that can accrue if you don't pay your bill in full. The bank knows that by encouraging you to use the card more often, you increase your chances of getting into debt. And in the end, the interest paid is far greater than any reward you might receive. Why these rewards aren't as good as they seem? Points and cashback programs are designed so that the bank always wins. Even if you manage to accumulate miles or redeem a small amount of cash, the incentive to spend more than you really need puts you in a vulnerable position. In addition, redemptions often have complicated rules, expiration dates, and conditions that make it difficult to use these rewards efficiently. The best way to avoid falling into this trap is simple. Don't spend more just to accumulate points or rewards. Always ask yourself, do I really need to make this purchase, or am I being swayed by miles or cashback? Prioritize keeping your finances healthy instead of seeking rewards that in the end could cost you dearly. Sixth secret, the quick fix loan. This brings us to the sixth secret that banks use to keep you in debt. The offer of loans as a quick solution to your financial problems. When you're in a tight spot, it may seem tempting to take out a personal loan to solve your debts in one go. But in reality, this is yet another trap that can put you in a never-ending cycle of debt. Banks know that by offering you a loan, they're creating the illusion that it's the perfect solution for balancing your finances. They sell you the idea that it's quick, easy, and at low interest rates. But what they don't point out is that, over time, you could end up paying a lot more than you initially borrowed. In many cases, the accumulated interest makes the total amount of the loan an even heavier burden than the debts you wanted to pay off. Of course, in the short term, the loan seems to solve the problem, but you soon realize that you haven't got rid of the debt, you've just changed creditors. And if you're not careful with your financial planning, you could end up needing new loans to cover the previous ones, creating a cycle of dependency. The best way not to fall into this trap is to use the loan only as a last resort, and always with a well-structured plan to pay it off quickly. Before taking out a loan, analyze if you really need it and if there are no other alternatives, such as adjusting monthly expenses, selling something you no longer use, or negotiating debts directly with creditors. These are the 6 secrets banks use to keep you in debt. Now that you know these strategies, you can make more conscious financial decisions and avoid falling into these traps. Remember, financial education is the first step to gaining your freedom and guaranteeing a prosperous future. If you liked this video and want to continue learning how to take better care of your money, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming content. Share this video with anyone you think needs to know this information and leave your comment below. Together, let's build a safer and smarter path for your financial life.